Hi everyone, this is Ruth Theresa with What Inspiring Women, and I'm excited to be with you tonight. Today. We have been working on getting our vision boards in order and getting ready to go with that. Vision boards are literally I don't like the words like goal posters or anything like that. I like the word vision because you need to put it somewhere that you're going to see this every day. And so I often tell people on the walls near your toilet, somewhere that you're going to be there several times a day, on your dresser, on your vanity, in your closet, on your makeup mirrors, on, I'm saying, anywhere that you're standing and staring at a mirror or standing in an area. You can even put them in your kitchen. I was talking to a client yesterday and we were talking about like where to put them. And I was like, you have a completely blank wall in your room. Put them where you're going to see them every day, somewhere that's going to remind you every day what your goals are, moving towards that goal every day. That's what you really, really want to focus on this. So um, let's see. One of the things is you want to make sure that each of your goals is something you can measure. It's one of those, even if you're going like a goal, like I would like to get healthier. Well, what does healthier mean to you? Does it mean I can walk a mile without, being out of breath? Does it mean I can walk 2 miles without being in breath? Or does it mean I can go do something else? I could swim a mile, or I could swim a lap, or I could do something else. So make sure that you're giving yourself goals that are measurable, something that you can measure or someone else could measure for you. I often tell people this is something important, and finding a partner, someone who has the same goals that you do or close to yours, so you can support each other, or something that you've been through. If you've lost weight and someone else is trying to lose weight, you can be like, I'll be your friend, and you can account to me like, hey, I lost 2 pounds, or today I gained a quarter pound back, and talking through that with them. But making this come in a little bit easier and a little bit faster to you is having someone to be accountable for. But you have to dedicate yourself to it. So that's one of the things we're talking about today is, are your goals, are your steps to your goals, is it measurable? And then how many steps are there between where you're at now and what your goal is? So if your goal was to be able to walk 1 mile without being, sweaty or out of breath or whatever it is, or say, hey, I'd like to be able to walk a mile in a certain amount of time. I would like to be able to walk a mile in, right now I walk a mile at 10 minutes, and I would like to walk a mile at like 6 minutes. So or I'm walking a mile at 15 minutes and I'd like to do it at 10 minutes. Is your goal measurable, that you can do it? Or is it steps in between there? Are you moving too far forward too quickly? So in your goal, it's one of those, if your goal was to go from walking 1 mile in 15 minutes to walking, you know, a mile in 10 minutes, it's one of those, you should have little tiny steps in between there. So now I've been doing it at 15 regularly. Now I want to do it at 14 regularly. And that's a measurable. In 2 weeks, I'm going to be able to do it in 14 minutes. In 2 more weeks, I'm going to be able to do it in 13 minutes. In 2 more weeks, I'm going to be able to do it in 12 minutes. So now I'm having measurable goals to be able to reach where I want to go. And that's really important, especially when we have big goals. It's one of those, what are the steps on the way, and use those as tracking devices or measurable distances so that you know where you're going with all of this. Um, a lot of times people will put on their goal poster and they'll put like lots of pictures of money, or they'll download pictures of money or take pictures of money or whatever it is. And money does not fix all problems. I always tell people that's kind of like a goal for a child. If you were to ask a child under fifth grade, like, what would you like, or what would make your life easier? And they're like, $1 million. And it's because they've heard it from us. But it's one of those, is really $1 million going to solve all your problems? Probably not. So it's one of those, if money isn't going to solve your problems, it may be part of the solution, but it's not part of the problem. Lack of money is not part of a problem. So it's one of those, saving up. Maybe your goal is to save up. I want to save up $1,000 this year so I can go on a beach vacation. So Is your goal measurable? Is it measurable for where you're going? So if I have no money in my savings account now and I want to get to $1,000 in a year from today, what what is that measure? Is that measurable for me? It's one of those. So how would I break it down? Every month I need to have so much money set aside. And then that means every week I need to set so much money aside, or every paycheck I need to set money aside. So I've got all of that coming in at me. I've got all of this measurable goals ready to go into place. Um, money can be a tricky one, but it's one of those, it is great to have on your poster, and it's something that you can draw into yourself, but you want to be very careful about it. What do you want? How much do you think you require? And I would do something on a regular basis. I would like an extra part-time job to make an extra $500 to put towards my vacation goals or whatever it is, something that you can measure. And then always keeping track of anything, any negative energy that comes up during this time frame as you think about it. Some people have a lot of issues with money. I've seen it with many clients. They will start, gathering wealth, or they're like, I want $10,000 to put on my brand new house. That's, I really want a brand new house. And so that's what I'm going to save up. And they start saving up. And because they don't have a good relationship with money, they almost are repelling the money away from them. And as they do this, it's like, well, I was saving up and I had $2,000 towards my house, and then my transmission broke, or I got 4 flat tires, or whatever it is. And it's because they're repelling the money and they're almost afraid. But a lot of times it's unconsciously, they're not even aware of it. It's unconscious. They're afraid of the money. And that's because sometimes, like we talked about yesterday, is sometimes in our family of origin, people are will say like, oh, Uncle so and so, he has a lot of money, but he's really mean, or he's very stingy, or whatever it is. And then we realize, oh wow, he's this way. And it's not just this person. We're thinking, oh, it's because all people that have lots of money are stingy or mean or aggressive, or they're not nice people, or whatever. For whatever reason, that's what we start to believe. And so it's one of those, are we believing people with money are something that we want to have? It's one of those, there are people that have money that are very generous and that are very kind. So it's one of those, you have to start changing your thinking. So keeping track of any of these negative thoughts that are coming up, or negative suggestions or ideas, keeping track of that. We're going to deal with our obstacles tomorrow on the negativity. So I'm going to show you a couple of mine. This is actually a part of a goal poster that I'm going to redo it. So with you guys, so this is one that I've been working on. It's my company name across the top. And then I love the stages that have like the red fabric. So I did red, and the plants on there, and me being on a stage and doing like a huge group reading for someone. I've got my curly hair with brown in there. I told you I am an amazing stick person drawer. I am. So this is something that's really amazing that I will put on my goal poster. And this is something that I've had dreams about. So that's always great to add on. This is something that I've heard from a lot of people, especially the last couple of weeks or so, feeling worthy. So I did this one. I am worthy of every good in my life, and I deserve to be happy. So this is one. And some of these I know are backwards, but I will post these up on Facebook later on. I am worthy of a great good. So that's always one of my favorites. I'm worthy of a great good. So if they're backwards, I'm sorry. I am true. Okay, this is one of my favorites. I am truly connected to my divine source. I'm truly connected to my divine source. One of my favorites. This one I just kind of did as a kind of like just throw things at it. So I colored in my I am, and then I just kind of answered it. I am good energy. I am love. I am me. I am silly, fun, on purpose, happy, God created, and confident. So these are the things that I put in there for me, because that was something that was really interesting for me to just kind of think of those. And as I was coloring, I just kept getting all these different words. So I just put all the my words up there. This one is another one of my favorites. I am my own definition of success. A lot of times people will define their success by someone else's standards, and I want to do my own. I want to define my success for myself, not with somebody else's stuff. I want to do it for me. This is another great one that I've had on many, many poster boards for myself. I am a magnet for a divine abundance in all forms. A lot of times people think that abundance only comes in money, but it actually doesn't. It comes in many, many different ways and many, many, many different avenues to get to us. It's one of those one things that I did many years ago. Well, having issues with Instagram today. One of the things that a lot of times my husband would say many, many years ago would be like, oh, I wonder what bills we got in the mail today. And always worried about the bills coming in the mail, the bills, the bills, the bills, the bills. And it actually started making me be afraid to go check the mail. You know what I'm saying? It's like, I'm like petrified to go check the mail just because there's going to be bills because he's kept asking for it. So it's one of those expect a check, expect something else. And one of the ways to kind of flip your idea about your bills is really kind of fun is thinking about it differently. So I have my cell phone with T-Mobile. And so instead of thinking, oh my gosh, my T-Mobile bill is in and I need to deal with this or I need to pay this, I think of it this way as T-Mobile has allowed me to use my cell phone all month long. And in exchange, they're asking for this small amount of money. So they've allowed me to make my cell phone calls, text messages, posting my videos, making videos, or talking to other things. I've been able to call clients, talk to clients. I've been able to do all kinds of things. Then they said, do whatever you want, Ruth. You can do whatever you want. We are going to back you up. You're going to be able to make those phone calls and get those text messages and be able to communicate who you need to communicate to. And in exchange, we're asking for this small amount of money. It changes the way you think about your bills. It really, really does. It's just like, oh my gosh, I never thought of it that way. If you have a mortgage or an apartment payment or rent or something like that, your mortgage company or apartment complex allowed you to use your apartment as much as you wanted for as long as you wanted. You got to sleep there, you got to cook your food, you got to have your animals, you got to do things there, have your friends over, whatever it is. Okay, maybe not at this time, but normally have your friends over. And now in exchange, they're only asking for this small amount of money in exchange. So think about your bills differently, and it really does change. When I first started doing this, I got all kinds of stickers, and we put stickers on the bill itself when I sent it back. You know, fluffy stickers, all kinds of stuff, heart shapes, and asking, literally telling them, thank you, T-Mobile, for letting me use my cell phone. Thank you, mortgage company, for letting me use my home the way I expected it to. So that is a really good positive way to do it. One of my other ones, affirmation statements that I'll put on my board is this: I am drawing new clients into me daily. I love when I have new clients. I love when someone refers someone else to me. I love referrals. Who doesn't? That's kind of totally cool. So the last one I'm going to show you is one that I did. I tell you, I'm a stick person drawer. There is. So this is my family. All of us in there. For some reason, all of us girls have curly hair. But it's one of those, and just having that in there and just seeing us all happy and smiling and doing things together. Now, I'm not much of an artist. I do my best. But if you're an artist, that's what you should be doing, is you should be putting those colors and energy into it. This one with my family still has to be colored. I'm going to color and put clothing on all of us. Right now we're all naked, but I will be putting that. If you have any questions about vision boards or any other questions about this, I will tell you that as I've started this series, I have had so many clients step up and go, I'm having problems with this, or I don't know how to do this. Make sure you're asking the question so I can get some help to you. And also, if you're having the question, someone else has a question. It's not just you by yourself. You're not the only one who's having problems with this or having issues with this. Make sure that you're asking for the help that you require at this time. So if no one has any questions, I'm going to let y'all go for today and go eat my lunch really quick. But I hope y'all have an amazing day, and I know we'll be talking soon.